Hello mate, how you doing? I have a jacket on. What? Because I only have the jacket on, so I'm not gonna be hot. Oh, no. So I did something totally out of the ordinary. I watched Love Island All Stars. What? Because I've never ever wanted to watch any show like that ever. I've never been interested, and I've heard so many people talking about Love Island, and I was like, no thanks. I don't need to see all of that. And I saw that it was quite typical of how the people were on there and how they looked like, so I just had like zero interest. But why is it that when I get interested in something, I have to binge watch it and just like not go to sleep until like 4 in the morning because I'm binge watching something, and then I wake up the next morning and I remember of its existence and I'm straight back into it. And I promised myself that I'll sleep in. No, I didn't sleep in. I woke up and I put it back on. Why? But I've noticed that about myself. I'm a bit of an addict with all things, so it's something I've just accepted about myself, really. Anyway, today's title of the video is Love Island. What? Love Island All Stars. My reaction. Now you might be wondering, like, Nayna, what are you doing this for? But I swear to you, right, there is so much that needs to be spoken about that I think that we just need to help each other here, because there's just too much that went on that show that I was like, what is going on here? And yeah, so we need to talk about all of that. So that's why I'm doing a video about this. And actually I put, what do I want the viewer to get from this video? And I've put there, please let's grow up? Question mark. So I obviously thought that there was a lot of immaturity going on in that show. Baby, you got me. You know how to love my body. Anyways, let's just move on. So like I said, I've never watched any of these types of shows before, like these reality shows. Like I just don't get interested in them. I'm more interested in like rom-coms and like love stories and stuff like that. So this type of stuff with like big fake boobs and like and like, you know, and all these like, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. Sorry if I'm like taking the piss a little bit, but I'm just not interested in that lifestyle and all this like makeup and all this hair and all these like skinny fit bodies and all these like masculine men, and they're just all like attracted to each other. Like I'm just not interested in it, so I never thought to watch it. And then somebody on YouTube, and she was like, I follow her, so I like her, and she was obsessed with the show, and everywhere I go, like people are talking about it and stuff, and I'm like, oh gosh, why do these people want to watch these people? And I thought that the show was actually like people on an island, and they're like mainly on the beach all the time, and that they're just trying to fall in love with each other, and then there's like exes that come onto the beach to like try to like steal them back. And I didn't really gauge that they was in a villa with, you know, with a pool and bedrooms. I don't know why I thought they would be in a wild on this like lost on this island trying to find love. I don't know why I thought that. But then Instagram happened, right? Instagram happened. I was scrolling one day about 5 days ago, and then I was like, winner of Love Island, and I saw her face and I was like, oh, she looks familiar, because I do like a bit of interview. I do, when I see somebody being interviewed, like Love Island winners interview, I do click on things like that, because I do like find interviews like quite entertaining. So I think I must have watched Molly in an interview with Callum years back when they had left the island. I must have, because she looked familiar. And then the runners up, Callum, I was like, oh, he looks familiar as well. Why did these two people look familiar? So then I started like, because when you click on a video on Instagram, it just starts giving you more videos related to it. So then I just started getting lost in this Molly, Callum, and then I started looking at the comments. It's like, they should have won together. And I was like, why should they won together? And I just went on this deep hole of like this Molly and Callum thing of like, they belong together and they were together for 3.5 years. I was like, 3.5 years? Why would they go on a show like that if they were together for 3.5 years? And then I remembered that I did watch a video with them two after they had left Love Island, and they were like in a relationship. And then I started watching all these clips, and then the big one that got me, I was like, right, I'm gonna have to go and check out this one episode. I said to myself, was the episode where there was a blonde girl, and now I know her name was Jess, but there was a blonde girl saying like, you know, I'm dressed up in all of this and I can't get your heart rate up, but your ex-girlfriend got your heart rate up more than me. And I was like, oh, and I had seen already all these comments about how they belong together. I was like, oh, that's a bit juicy, isn't it? So then I was like, let me go and see if I could find it on YouTube, like this, like just the one episode, because I just wanted to watch like what did she do and how did it play out that she got his heart rate up. Anyways, little voice in my head was like, oh, let me just Google to see where you can actually watch Love Island, because I'd rather just watch like the whole episode like clean rather than trying to find it on YouTube. And I was like, on ITV, I was like, oh, I wonder if that's free. So then I went on ITV. It was like, oh, it's free. And look, they are all there. All of the episodes are there. And I was like, So then I clicked on the first episode just because I was thinking to myself, actually, let me just get all of the character names before I watch that episode that I want. So I was going to watch the first episode, get all of their names and who's who. And then I was going to skip to the episode of all the dancing and stuff. And then that was going to be my relationship to Love Island All Stars. Do you think that happened? No, because I watched the first episode and then I watched the second, and then I watched the third, and then I watched the fourth, and it just never stopped. And then I watched the whole entire thing over the span of 2 days, guys. 2 days. I watched it over 2 days.
Oh no.
Yep. But I have an ad block on my computer, so I luckily didn't have to sit through any adverts, and that's why I think it was also like shortened down, because there was no adverts on my watch time. It was just me back to back watching these things. Obviously I did like ironing, maybe it was over 3 days actually, but I did my ironing, I did like all these things while I was like having it on in the background. But I don't have the ad block, and this is how addicted I was to this program, because I don't have the ad block on my phone, and I had to clean like my bathrooms. So then I accepted the ad block so I could carry on watching it on my phone, and that's how addicted I was to it. I couldn't just like pause it in my room, go and clean my bathroom and come back. Nope, I had to take my phone with me, carry on watching it on my phone. Like, this is how addictive it was. Anyways, let's just get into this video, please, because I have too much to say about how much we need to learn in life. So please, let's get on with it. First of all, I think I live under a rock sometimes. Technically, I do live under a rock, like, because all of this is, I think, is made out of bricks. But maybe, you know. And I never leave my house, so then that's me living under a rock. But I just don't, I'm not exposed to like certain behaviors in the world right now, and I didn't really click and realize that there's actually humans in the world who are really like fame hungry, and they just want to be famous, and they want to be like the hot thing that everybody's talking about. And to be honest, like, I don't really want to be everything that everybody's talking about, because I'm quite embarrassed about it. But you know, because if everybody's talking about me, I'd be quite embarrassed. I'd be like, can you stop talking about me, because this is so embarrassing. But I'm willing to take that on if it means that I'm going to change the world, because then yes, you could talk about me and I'll accept it, because there's an end goal of us changing the world, which is really, really important. But aside from that, I don't want to be in your mouth and you talking about me and stuff. But there's people in the world that's actually hungry for that, and they want you to talk about them, and they want to be like the star of the show. And then also they want to like appear perfect. Their bodies are perfect, and their personalities, and like just the way that they talk and the way that they hold their hands, like everything is so calculated as a performance, because I am art. And sorry, I'm trying to impersonate how it will feel like to be that type of person where you're just art. And to be honest, I think it influenced me a little bit, because after all of those episodes, I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should pay more attention to how I use my hands and how I laugh or how I do things as an art form, because somebody's watching me and somebody's, you know, loving me and watching everything about me. But I can't be bothered to do all of that. And then also, I'm not sure about all of that. Anyway, but there is this whole industry of people who have perfect bodies, and they strive to have perfect bodies. And then they're just like, look at me, I have a perfect body, and look at me, and I'm just so beautiful. And then these men are like these muscles, and I'm just thinking, how long do you stay in the gym to get that type of body? Because I don't have patience to go to the gym and stay there and get that body. Anyways, but I did realize straight away, of course, even though I was entertained by it, but that it was a television it was made for television for the purposes of entertainment, because all of the people have similar characters. Like, for example, all of the girls, they're into makeup, they're into their bodies looking fit, they're into their hair always being done. And there's so many women in the world who are not like that. So they don't want makeup on, they don't care what their hair looks like, and they do not care about how their body is shaped. There's so many women, but this show is particularly employing only people who care about that, and then the men, only the men who spend time working on their bodies and who look fit, and then also that have a type of behavior, because these people are willing to, for example, they're willing to kiss other people on camera, they're willing to have random people coming up to them, and they call it a snog, which is, why would you call that like, that word is so ugly. It's like a frog kissing. It sounds like a frog kissing, like snog. It's like, I could imagine like a frog trying to kiss another frog. Why would you have that word to describe tongue kissing? I'd rather you call it tongue kissing. Or would you like to tongue kiss? Okay, I know that that's like not sexy, but snog is not sexy. Anyway, so they call it snog. And then if you have somebody coming to snog you, I can't use that word, sorry. If you have somebody coming to tongue kiss you on the television, and like there's loads of people watching, so they pick up these characters of these people who don't have an opinion about that, or a bad opinion about that. So you already know that this is just for entertainment, because it's just these particular types of people who, I'm guessing somebody like a spiritual person would think that it was a bit of shallow people, right? Which I think that's a bit harsh to like just say that, because like that's... Anyways, so then you go and employ these people, these types of people, and you put them on TV for the purposes of entertainment, and good on them, because it is bloody entertaining. Even though it's not your character, you'd never do things like that, but you don't mind watching these people get on with it and use all of these slangs that I've never heard of, like crack on. Yeah, go and crack on, which means that you can move on with another love interest. That's what they mean by crack on. I didn't know that, because to me crack on means like get on with it, but crack on to them is like get on with it with another love interest. Anyway, so it was so weird and entertaining how like obsessed we became with Molly and Callum getting back together, and how happy I was when she got with Tom, and I was like, yeah, you show him. And I think that as like humans, we're actually obsessed with like true love. We're obsessed with like, I think we're obsessed with belonging, and because we're so scarce of belonging, when we see somebody else having the potential to belong, then we want it to play out in our eyes, because we want to have a dose of it, because we don't have doses of it. So we saw an excuse with Molly and Callum to crave that belonging that we don't have in society. So of course we then projected onto them like, no, you two belong together. Obviously they didn't sway us either, because they were doing everything that like exes do that are still in love with each other, like some little comments and little like, because obviously I think that Molly went in there completely still in love with Callum, wanting to probably get back at him, like, yeah, watch me, I'm gonna go on Love Island again, and watch me, not knowing that he was gonna be there. And then I don't know what his point is actually, because he's a bit of a dark horse in terms of, I don't know what dark horse means, but for me, dark horse, I'm just making stuff up here, but like he just seems like, I can't read him properly. And maybe it's because I'm not a man, and because I'm a woman, I could read Molly like 100%, and I can't really read him. But from what I've heard from other guys, because I've just been scrolling too much these days on Instagram, and I've been listening to people, is that men, they have this like whole pretense going on, and they're completely heartbroken. So it could be that he went on the show just wanting to move on with his life, and kind of wanting to like be the next big thing, and just like a distraction basically, right? And also these people want to be famous, they want to like carry on being famous, so then of course it just helps for you to be famous. So, but she was completely still in love. I don't know what he was feeling towards Molly, but I think then it became evident what he was feeling, because as soon as he saw her walking in, he chose her, and I don't think he did it out of respect. I think he did it because he was like, yeah, I want that, or I want to spend some time with her, or I just want to stir something between me and her. So that's why I think he chose her. And then when he did that, it just spiked up all of her emotions, as it would for any woman who's still in love with their ex, and then he goes and chooses me. That means, yeah, like, yeah, show me how much you love me anyway. So then we are obsessed with this like true love thing, so then we projected it onto them, and we wanted them to be together. But guess what? Life takes its path. And if she's anything like me, like, yes, she's heartbroken, yes, she still wants him, but the moment that somebody else who's good looking, who I start to fancy, comes along, and then I kiss him, it's over. It's absolutely over. But she might not be like me. She might appear to, because I've really, really connected with Molly. I just feel like she's like quite similar to me, but maybe she's not that similar to me, and maybe she does have this like a whole other side to her. But I do feel like if it was me, Tom would have completely made Callum something of the past, and actually now I'd be a bit more cringed towards Callum, like why was I so obsessed with him, why was I crying so much? Because that's what happens with like a lot of women, like they cry over a guy and then as soon as they get the next toy and the toy is good enough and they get activated by the next toy, sorry I'm calling this man a toy, I just mean, I don't know what I mean. As soon as you get the next one and it activates your heart, it's over. The last one is like, well, I don't want it anymore, go away. And then if they start bugging you, you're like, oh, just go away. And yes, it could feed your ego, so then you kind of don't block them and you let them do it because it feeds your ego. Like, it's like, yeah, I was crying over you 6 months ago and now look at you, like begging me. So then you allow it to happen because it just makes you feel good about yourself, but it doesn't activate your heart like whatsoever, because now Tom is activating your heart. But if she was using Tom to make herself feel better and she was using Tom to get back at Callum, that's a whole different story. And I've never done that in my life because I have too much like hurt feelings towards people. So I don't want to hurt Tom's feelings and I'm scared of hurting people's feelings. So I would never use somebody to make somebody else jealous or use somebody to make myself feel better. I wouldn't do that. But I don't know if Molly's like that or not. So I don't know if she, but it could be a possibility that she did do that, that she was just making herself feel better and she was making Callum regret his decisions from the past, and that might be what had happened. I don't know. And I think that that's what people want, because they want Molly and Callum to belong together, so they kind of want Tom to be this like thing that she's using to make herself feel better, and then she's gonna get back to the real love of her life because they belong together and they have all these feelings, which got activated with that episode of them dancing on each other, because that activated me, mate. When I got to it I was like, oh my gosh, I even forgot about the whole episode by the time I got to it, that I got reminded when it came on. I was like, oh yeah, this is why I came to watch this show. And it did everything that I thought it would, because first of all, she bit his ear.
What?
Sorry, but doesn't that just like tell you everything? Because I swear, if I'm biting my ex's ear, there's no way that I'm over him. Or are these types of girls just like that way inclined? Because I'm not that way inclined. I'm not gonna bite your lip if I don't like you anymore.
Huh?
And it really got me thinking, like, should I be a little bit more like loose and different? Because like I could never imagine somebody going, oh, can I kiss you? And I'd be like, yeah, you can kiss me. I'd be like, why are we kissing? Do I fancy you? And then when Chris asked to kiss her, for me, I would have been like, no thank you. Because you saw she was uncomfortable. You saw that she was like giggling, like, oh my gosh, you want to kiss me? And then she just let it happen. I would never do that. And I think there's millions of women who would never do that. They'll be like, no thank you, or they'll turn their head or something. But I think that when you sign this type of contract to go on this type of TV program, they actually like ask you these things to make sure that you are the type of person who allows these things, and that's what they want for the entertainment. So they don't want you to be the type of person who turns your head, and they want you to be the type of person who just allows a kiss to happen even though you don't really like him, but you allow it to happen. Like, that's what they want for the program. So somebody like me, if I was to audition for that show, I'd never get chosen because of the answers. No, I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't. Okay, she's not for the show. And I started like, because my son, he came in and he got addicted to a few episodes as well. He came in and started watching it with me, and I said to him, like, should I just be a bit more like that? Like, just like, yeah, whatever, like, kiss me, yeah, go on, tongue kiss me, put your tongue all down my mouth. Like, no thanks, no. Anyway, so the fact that she bit his ear was what made it all just crazy. And it was just all these little things that I don't know if I was just making them up, like, because she went to Toby and then she put his finger in her mouth, and I think that Callum was like jealous about that. And then she ran her hand all down her body, and I think that Callum was trying like, yeah, this is fine, yeah, this is fine. And then she went to him next and bit his ear. And the fact that his heart rate went up the most was, I think, because of that. The fact that then her heart rate went up the most for him, and all he did, or all what we saw, because they edited, and all we saw is that he climbed on top of the chair, put his crotch in front of her face, and that was all we saw that he did. So why did that make your heart rate go up the most? And the only reason why it would is because you still have feelings, and this type of proximity or this type of like non-controlled behavior will still activate your heart because you still love him. That's the only reason why. On both cases, because if he was totally over it, yeah, and he was like, nah, me and Molly are a thing of the past now, like, nah, she's with Tom now, you know, we're basically everything that they're saying, if it was true, then why is it that her nibbling your ear would make your heart rate beat the most? because it'll be a bit more cringy, right? Like, oh, don't bite my ear, like, oh. Do you know what I mean? It will be like this like cringe, uncomfortable thing, not the opposite of like, she just bit my ear, she just bit my ear, you know, which is what would create the heart rate. So I think that this is why people are still obsessed with it, because they see all of these little signs of like, no, they still love each other. And if they still love each other, then of course you want them to be together. But if she's like me, which I wouldn't have bitten his ear, this is what is like confusing. That means that she's not like me, because I wouldn't have bitten his ear unless I was trying to like make him suffer even more. Like, yes, I have moved on with Tom, yes, I love Tom, but you really hurt me, so I'm gonna make you suffer even more. I'm gonna like tease you, and then you're gonna suffer because I know what you like. And that means that I'm being a on the date, which I have got the potential to do. So maybe that's what it was, like she was actually trying to like hurt him on purpose. If she did do that and she is over him and she's in love with Tom now and she's doesn't care about Callum anymore, just like I would, then Callum's gonna learn the hard way, because she was saying how much he didn't try in the relationship and stuff, so, and how much he didn't give her the attention that she wanted. Like, he never did anything for Valentine's Day, and he never did nothing sweet and cute, and he never told her how beautiful she was. Mind you, she is really, really pretty. I think she's very attractive, so maybe he's just like very insecure, and so he's gonna learn the hard way, because she's about to move on, mate. Like, see you later, I found a new thing and I'm so happy. I'm a winner of this show, I'm famous again, everybody wants to talk about me, everybody's obsessed with my ex, me getting back with my ex. Like, she's about to have the the best time of her life. So Callum's gonna learn the hard way that he should have done better, tried better, been a better boyfriend, and maybe, I'm not surprised if he would try and get back with her because of this. Oh my god, I forgot. I've got Georgia H on there and I've got Georgia S on there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot that I was going to talk about these two. Let's start with Georgia H. By the way, I never learn nobody's name on anything. My son finds it funny, he knows this about me. Like, I'm always like, yeah, the guy with the blonde hair, or oh, the girl with the red hair, or you know, the main character. Like, I never learn nobody's name, and the fact that I know everybody's name on this show is just embarrassing, because why? Anyway, Georgia H. Unfortunately, I think that a lot of women do this. I don't do this, but I think that a lot of women do this. And I think that this is probably why a lot of men treat women badly. Because they got treated the way that Georgia H is going to treat Anton in the future, the conclusion of their story. So when you have that type of thing happen, you become a villain. Because she, okay, I don't think that in life we're supposed to settle. No, I don't think that. And I think that this type of mentality is a massive culture along the whole of life on earth. Everybody thinks that they need to settle. Like, oh, it's okay, you know, it's a 7 out of 10, so, you know, I could deal with a 7 out of 10, I could deal with it. Me, I'm like, no, if it's not a 10 out of 10, I'm not doing it. If it's not a 10 out of 10, I don't want it. So this stubbornness that I have is different. And I think that a lot of people settle for a 7 when they want a 10. They want a 10. And you could tell she wants a 10. The boy, I forgot his name. Oh, that's good. I don't know one person's name. There's a boy that came in, Tom's best friend. I want to get his name because I'm so proud of myself that I'm getting everyone's names. No, I'm not getting his name. Tom's best friend with the longish hair. He came in and you could tell that he was her 10. She was not his 10 because she's spiritual and he finds it cringy to be spiritual, which that is so weird. Like, we need to change the state of this world. If somebody's telling you that they can feel your granddad and that puts you off because you're like, no, that's too spiritual. Like, what do you mean that's too spiritual? Like, the state of this world is too weird for that to be too spiritual. Anyways, you could already tell you that she liked him more than he liked her. For the fact that she wants to reach out to you and tell you about your granddad means that she was trying to like make you fall in love with her even more. Like, look, I care about your granddad and I'm connected with him. And it did the opposite because he's probably not as invested as she was, and he's probably kissing other girls and stuff. And then that was like the final straw that broke the camel's back, which that is not true. The final straw didn't break the camel's back. The camel's back was already on its way out. And then it happened to have happened that he broke the back when that straw was put on there. But his back was always going to be breaking. It was already like going like this inside, like this inside. And it didn't matter. You could have just left the amount of straws on his back and it was still going to break. You just needed to give it time. The final straw did not break his back. I'll use it for this thing. That was the final straw that broke his ick for her. I learned a new word, ick, because of Love Island. He had an ick for her, and then it grew bigger when she did the thing about the granddad. Anyway, so I think that you should go for your 10, and what happens when you don't go for your 10 is that icks grow strong. Icks get bigger. The fact that she was complaining that Anton kisses too loud is an ick. The fact that she like goes like this when he comes towards her and kisses her, she's like, like, no, darling. When you're in love with somebody, if they come towards you, you're like this, face on. Unless you're like insecure about something, but she's not. She's not insecure. And so then what happens is that you end up cheating on your boyfriend. Because she could stay with Anton because he's all these amazing things, right? But she's gonna end up cheating on him. Yeah, because she's gonna get a 10 that comes along that looks like a 10, and then she's gonna entice herself into touching him, experiencing him, and then she's gonna realize, oh wait, you're not a 10, you're just another playboy, and then she's gonna go back to Anton as if nothing happened. And that's what happens because you're not going for your 10s, you're going for your 7s, your 6s, your 5s, because you're scared that you're not gonna get any better and that they tick all these boxes apart from the deep attraction inside of your body. And I don't think we should be doing that because we hurt people's feelings. Anton's feelings is going to be hurt one way or another. Okay, that's my say on their situation. Georgia S. I tell you what, I don't think it's healthy for us to like present such characters on TV, because I don't like hating people, and I'm telling you, that girl, I don't like her. I think she's delusional, and I was screaming at my computer screen every time she was talking because everything she said was incorrect and everything she said was a lie. And I was like, but you just did that. And she was like, no, but I don't do it. And I'm like, no, but you just did that. What do you mean? And it was like, there's like, and I said to my son, I said like, I think this is like the example of what people talk about when they say narcissist. Oh no. I think this is the example of when people talk about narcissists. Like, I think that that's what they're talking about, people like her, because like she's just like a liar. And I didn't like it, but I do feel sorry for her because like Toby is her 10 and she just wanted her 10 and she went and got her 10, but she just didn't need to lie, she didn't need to pretend, she could have just been honest, like, yeah, you're my 10, and that would have been better and she wouldn't have been hated. But and the fact that she took Callum as well, and then she wanted, and then like she made Tom's heart rate even like the highest. It was just like annoying. By the way, if that was my boyfriend Tom, just to put it out there, and then Georgia made your heart rate the most, it just adds to the fact that she's still in love with Callum, yeah, because there's no way. But like Tom, we're breaking up, but I'm a different type of character. Love Island don't employ characters like mine for a reason, because you're not supposed to break up with a guy because his heart rate got pumped from another girl. No, you're supposed to accept that as life. Like, this is life. Nope. That's why I wouldn't get employed, because I wouldn't accept it. I'd be like, no, darling, we're breaking up now. Her dancing made you the most excited, yeah? We're breaking up, darling. Unless, of course, I'm using you to make my ex-boyfriend jealous, and then we're not breaking up because I'm just as bad as you. So, okay, you have your little moment with Georgia. As long as you worship me, I don't care if you have your little moment with Georgia, because I'm just making my ex-boyfriend jealous here. That's the only logical explanation as to why she was so cool about it. Because I would have literally broken up with him, and I would have watched it all back, all of the smiling, all of the like looking at her body. We're breaking up, darling. You should have just been there like this. Finally, let's talk about Arabella, because I was so confused, yeah, like, because she's like really pretty. My son thinks that she's really not pretty, but I think she's really pretty. I think she's so attractive and she's nice and tall. So why is it that she was so off-putting? Her character was just so like not switched on to like what other people might be feeling about her. Like, she was just in her own world, and like she just talks a lot, and I just felt like she was really like off-putting. And then she started crying about people like not treating her well, and I swear after this show, yeah, I think I'm gonna go and strike even further, because like there's no way that I'm gonna be sitting there crying my eyes out for somebody who does not want me. And I'm so done with this type of behavior of like, oh my gosh, I'm so hurt by somebody else's actions towards me. I'm so done with it. No, I'm not gonna cry anymore about people not liking me, not wanting me, changing their minds about me, moving on from me without me knowing about it. I'm not gonna cry about this stuff because it's just so stupid. Like, why? And it made me realize that like everybody has secret agendas, and everybody is scared of revealing their agendas because they want it to go their way and not some random way. And if you were to be honest about all things, it would just be so random and you wouldn't have control over your life. That's the way that I am, because I don't need control over my life. I could just be honest, and that's more important to me. But for some people it's not. And actually I found myself like fibbing a little bit in a situation that I was in, because I was going to get in trouble and I didn't want to get in trouble. So I feel like we have this tendency to be dishonest when we are in trouble. And even me, where I'm such an honest person and I would tell you the truth even if I'm in trouble, I still found myself fibbing a little bit because I wanted the in trouble to be a little bit less, because I was already in too much trouble. So it's like, why are we like that? And Josh is like such a great example of it. Like Josh and Sophie, like how like he was just doing what's best for him and lying. I think that they like each other, but I don't think she was his first option, and I don't think in life that she would ever be his first option. But she's good enough. She's like a 9, but she's not a 10. So she's not a 7, she's a 9, but she's not a 10. And I think that he's pretending that she's a 10, and she thinks that she's a 10, but she's not. She's a 9. And that type of little sneakiness is what I've realized that all humans have. And I'm done with it. I'm not going to be surprised by your 1% that I'm not aware of that slaps me in my face. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm going to be like, okay, see you later. Bye. I'm not crying about this. Nope. And I'm not going to sit here and get angry at you for doing it either, because, okay, you're a human, you are weird, I'm going to move on now. I'm not going to sit here and crucify you for lying to me when I thought that you would never lie to me, and here you are doing it. Nope, not crying, and I'm not crucifying you for it. I am walking away, no words spoken, leaving, goodbye. Anyways, this was tiring. Let's conclude this video. To be honest, what I just said there last should have been my conclusion, really, that like I think I'm just done with humans. But having said that, this was for entertainment. This is a particular type of human. I've been saying that I'm not this type of human, therefore I know that there's loads of people out there who are not this type of human. So I think that that's where I'm gonna go and concentrate on, is people that are a bit more like me, where they wouldn't do this type of show to begin with, and that they are very honest, and that they don't have selfishness as their main priority. Because I was saying to Gabe, yeah, I came across this photo of this guy, and he was like, had this deer, and he just shot the deer, and he had the rifle and the deer like this, and he was like smiling like, and then loads of the comments were like, congratulations mate, you're gonna feed your family for the whole year. And it was just sickening. And I said to Gabe, like, I need to actually become a vegetarian, because like this stuff is sickening. Like, how is this a proud moment? And you could tell that the deer had just died, or that the deer was still like a little bit alive, and you're there like taking a picture of shooting the deer. Like, it's just disgusting. And some people call this a sport. Like, they don't even eat the animal, they just go around shooting them and killing them for sport. And it's just disgusting. Anyway, so then, because I know that his argument, because he's a male, and I know that he has it in his DNA that he needs to feed his family, right? He needs his family to survive. He's in charge of that. So it's either me or the deer. It's either my family or the deer. So it can't be my family, therefore I need to kill the deer. So I need to do it, and I'm strong enough to do it, so I'm going to do it. So I understand that this mentality is out there, but my mentality is different, right? So my mentality is that, I'm sorry, because some people might be upset about what I'm about to say, but my mentality is that I'm going to die of hunger, and we're all going to die of hunger before I go to kill another animal. I know, you don't like that, right? But that's what I'm going to be doing. Or I'm going to be like surviving on apples, because there's no way I'm going to be killing an animal to feed myself. Anyway, so then we was like talking, because I didn't want him to start debating with me straight away, so I started finding answers quickly as to why I think that way, right? And I was saying to him that it feels like my dog, yeah, is really not switched on. As a human, I'm way more switched on than my dog. And I find it so cute that she's not really switched on. She's a bit like stupid. And as a human, I'm less stupid than she is. And I could see her stupidness, and I could see how I'm much more clever than she is, right? So for me, selfishness is a little bit stupid. Yeah. And to sit there and say, my family needs to eat, so I don't care how the deer feels, I don't care how the chicken feels, because I need to feed my family. I think that that's selfish. Because you're putting your feelings above the feelings of the deer and of the chicken. And I think that this is stupid. And when I say stupid, I mean like literally like not really switched on. Like you're a bit like not intelligent. Because if you were intelligent, you would find ways to make everybody happy. Because I swear intelligence is like more more functioning. Like, it works for everything. Because if something breaks down, it means it's not the best version. If something is not like working, it means that it's not the best version. For example, an Apple phone versus a cheaper phone. Like, the Apple phone is way more advanced, so because it takes care of way more problems, and it knows how to take care of way more problems, whereas this one doesn't. So if I'm here not knowing how to make sure that everybody's happy, that means that I'm not as advanced as somebody who knows how to do that. So I feel like selfishness is a sign that you're really not that advanced. And I find it really cringy to not be advanced.
Wow.
So I think that's this type of selfishness of like, I need to feed my family over the chicken's feelings. I need to survive over your feelings. I think that that is immaturity, and it's selfishness, and it's just not advanced. So, having said that, this is how humans behave everywhere. My feelings are above yours. My existence is above yours. I need to take care of me before I take care of you. And so then you get people that lie all the time. So, I think we need to stop doing that, really. But anyways, okay, let's move on to the quote of the week. I actually found a quote from a previous Love Island person called Belle. I think that's what the internet said. Anyways, there's 7 billion people on the planet. You're gonna base your confidence off of 6 people? I was like, ooh, that sounds good, doesn't it? I really like that, because it's so true, isn't it? Like, you get stuck in these bubbles, and this bubble makes you feel a certain type of way, and you're not aware of like how big the outside of the bubble is, and you're creating yourself and how you feel about yourself based on this little bubble, when really, if you were to be aware of what was outside, then you would just leave the bubble because you want better, but you're not aware of it. So then you stay in the bubble, and you're just like consumed by this bubble and how the bubble's making you feel. And really, you have every right to leave that bubble, find better, be better, do better, and go and get better. And so I think that's a very good example of that. So instead of crying over people who don't want you, just leave. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, I'm completely drained after this video. I don't know why. I think it's talking about other people's lives and stuff. I don't think I'm used to it, and I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it. So I didn't really enjoy it that much, but there were so many messages in here that I just wanted to talk about, and that's why I did it. But if I'm being honest, I don't know if I'm proud that I did this video. Because also when I'm doing it with like my sister, because we do this at Christmas time, we just talk about celebrities sometimes. Like, it feels like this. It feels like I just need to go and sleep, because I don't like it. I don't like talking about other people. I find it like venoming. I feel polluted. I feel like I need to go wash my face. I need to go wash my hair. I need to go and pretend that I didn't even do this video. So I wonder how it's going to go when I edit it and post it. Am I going to post it? I don't know. We'll see. If it's on the internet, that means that I posted it, and if it's not, then that means that it was just a waste of an afternoon. Anyways, until next time, please don't cry over people. Actually, cry over them and then move on, and then tell them things like in a really nice way, not expecting them to be wrong and you to be right, but just tell them how you feel, so then like we can at least take information and education from experiences. So I'll tell you how I feel. Yes, I'm gonna cry while I'm doing it because it really hurts my feelings. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I'm not gonna crucify you. I'm gonna tell you how I'm feeling, and then I'm gonna walk away. And then if I cry as I'm walking away, okay, and if I cry for 20 days, okay, but I deserve better. I'm gonna get better. And me, personally, I'm not going to cry as I walk away. I'm not going to cry. I probably will cry as I'm talking to you though, because I just do stuff like that randomly. Right, I'm leaving. I'll see you later. Goodbye.